Quick update for this coming week. I'm gonna be doing lots of miles. Today's Friday. I'm back in Cambridge. If you saw my vid, crane and load 71,000 pound machine, that was my previous load, and this was in Windsor, Ontario, just on the other side of Detroit, Michigan, US, pretty much at the border. And they picked up that machine. Luckily nothing was broken, but it was a really demanding load for the trailer. Like the last thing that I didn't mention in that video, they wanted me to bring the trailer as close as possible to the opening of that shop where that machine was going. And the guy says, did you let the air out of your airbags? Because they might explode when the machine goes off, right? Because there's so much pressure. I said, yeah, I did. And he says, what about your rear axle? I said, well, basically the trailer was sitting like, you know, the rear axle still had the airbags like this size, you know. And it was unbelievable. Like, it was a really very taxing for the trailer. But when they took it off, there was almost no hissing because there was no air. But you know, next time of course I'm gonna think twice before taking a heavy load like that, especially when it doesn't pay enough, you know. Loads like that should really pay, I don't know. I think, I'm guessing, depending on the weight, you know. Now I'm gonna ask for, let's say, at least $7 per mile if it's over $70,000, because, you know, there's lots of stress just driving down the road and stuff like that, and then loading and loading, a high risk of damaging your equipment. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. So the consignee had a big dirt parking area, so I asked their permission. I said, can I stay here for a couple of hours? I need to find a load back. The guy says, yeah, go ahead, you know, knock yourself out basically. So I got in my truck, booted up my laptop, used my Bell Mobility internet access, and started looking for a load. And after a couple of hours, I found this one. This is just a flatbed load basically. It does not require a step deck. I got one long crate. It's about, that one is about 20 feet long, and then I have this metal piece. It's machined over here, like it's very, you know, smooth surface. I guess that's where it's connected to another machine, and that's why they wanted it tarped. And then on this side I have this other smaller crate. So there was two pickups, all in Windsor. Pretty much this one from one plant, this big frame from the other, but they all going to the same place near New York City. The weight is only 15,000 pounds, so of course you don't need a 3-axle trailer for this, but it opens up possibilities. And right now I just spent about another couple of hours at the Starbucks coffee shop where I usually go. I used to use the internet before, but it's so unreliable. It keeps dropping the connection, you know, these free public Wi-Fi's are really starting to get, you know, under my skin. Oh, check this out. Wow, it's already gonna be a haul. I just drove only 3 hours. And that's one thing I really hate about tarping, you know, because I think I put some rubber under there, but of course it moves. See, it's gonna be a hole. By the time I reach Connecticut, that's 8 hours away. You know, sometimes I really want to throw them out, you know, so that I'm not tempted to use to do loads that require tarping. And by the way, the consignee wanted me to tarp this as well. You know, like, it doesn't make any sense. This thing is almost airtight, like the box, right? They want me to top it. But these guys said, okay, like if your top is short, I told them I have a shorter top, 24 by 16. They say, we're okay if you just go to Walmart and buy a, you know, like a disposable tarp. I'm not gonna even bother. You know, I have a small top, but I mean, look at the sky. Well, they're promising some thunderstorms tomorrow, but I doubt any water will go inside there. And all in there is a big screw. Kind of looks like a small screw you use to connect, you know, let's say wood to wood, right? only this is a big one because it's part of the machine that I think it moves like food, you know, for animals inside a big machine when they make it. Kind of like a big propeller, only looks like a screw. Anyway, so I started looking for a load out of there because today's Friday, so all brokers are you know, open. Oh, but before I got to Cambridge, I had a little scare. I started driving from Windsor. All of a sudden, my engine light in the truck came on, and it would come on for stay for 5 seconds, stay on, then disappear for 1 second, then come back on for 5 seconds. And this was, I stopped. I, you know, tried to, you know, restart the engine, see if it goes away. No, I checked under the hood. Oil is good, coolant is good, you know, no loose wires, everything looks good. So just another wiring problem, I thought. So I called Caterpillar from the road. This was Thursday, like 8 o'clock. And I said, can you guys take a look at this? I have this light and the computer shows 2 faults. And the guys, to my surprise, said, oh, just bring the truck over. And I'm thinking, all right, so it's probably gonna be another, I don't know, 500 bucks. And I stopped there, and the guy hooks up his computer right there. I even stayed connected to the trailer. I just pulled in the yard of the Toromont Caterpillar in Cambridge. The guy hooks up his laptop, then turns it to me and shows, and it says some kind of high voltage in actuator. Basically, it's another emission related problem, because these cats have all that, like the first stage of you know, emission compliance when they started doing this back in 2004. So it has a very light interference, and the parts of this emission thing, they always go bad. And so basically this was a sensor that controls that actuator. And so you just replace it. 149 bucks for the parts, half an hour labor. I think I paid like $200 plus tax, 13%. Anyway, so I got off easy. I didn't even had to disconnect the truck. So, but I already booked a hotel because I thought I'd be without a truck for like a few days. So I went to a hotel, had a couple of tequilas, shots, not bottles. Took a shower, and then that's when I started looking for a load at Starbucks, and I found one that was 47,000 pounds. And it's 2 tractors, like farm tractors, and requires step deck, and the rate was great, and they were going to Newfoundland from Pennsylvania. And I called the guy, I said, are you sure about the weight? Because, you know, I got a 3-axle step, but maximum I can take, even if I put fuel only in 1 tank, I can probably take 46. And the guy said, let me call the customer. So he calls the customer confirms it's 47. And it's 2 tractors, which means that I cannot get overweight permit. You know, if it was just 1 tractor, then it would be okay. I can just pay for the permits. And the guy actually was ready to add another 300 bucks to the price this load was paying. But then I remembered this, that multiple pieces cannot be permitted. So basically that's another example where a 3-axle trailer does not work, because the weight of the load is kind of on the border, you know, borderline. But if I put these 2 trucks on my step, 47,000, I know I would be like 82,000 pounds gross, and that's illegal in US. But I would be legal in Canada, but just too bad, you know. But then I found another one, and that's why I already booked that one. So basically after I deliver this, I'm gonna go again past New York City, but this time I'm gonna make a big loop. I don't want to drive through the town again. And I'm going to Virginia, and I'm picking up a nice step deck load because it's tall. I'm picking up a tanker truck, some kind of a small tanker, like basically a truck with a body, you know, with a tank on top. It's only, they say it only weighs 15,000 pounds, but it's 30 feet long, 8 feet wide, and about, I think they said, yeah, 10 feet tall. So it's some kind of small truck, and it goes to the port in Nova Scotia, Eastern Canada. You know, pays $4 grand, so I don't mind driving 500 miles empty. So that's 500 miles empty, then 1,300 miles loaded, and deliver over there in Nova Scotia. And then I already found that they have loads out of there. Maybe when I'm unloading they'll still be there. There were some loads in New Brunswick and going into US, you know. There was even a load from New Brunswick going to Louisiana. Paid only like $2 per mile, but still, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna be doing lots of miles next week. Now it's Friday, so I'm gonna be relaxing. I'm gonna leave Sunday morning, start driving, you know, towards Buffalo, and then unload Monday morning, and then it's 500 miles empty. And then Tuesday I'm gonna load that, pick up that tanker truck. It's too bad I couldn't book this load to Newfoundland, because I wanted to show you guys, you know, it's a really picturesque trip. You know, you go on a ferry, the ferry goes on the ocean, then you land on that island, and there's 500 miles on the island to St. John's, like the big city on the eastern part of the island. And then of course it's 500 miles back, so you know, it would make a good interesting video. But maybe next time when I find a load, you know, that my step deck can take, I'll do something like that. Now on my Mazda, I reconnected the old intake. That's where the air was coming into the factory box, and now the air, you know, lets out much closer to the filter. And I noticed that the sound is louder, and the car picks up speed still better. So, but the only thing is that, you know, it goes up and down like this. So I'm gonna use some cable ties, just tie it down. Well, the ties I had were too short. I had to buy one 14 inches long, and I hooked up like this because there's a rubber here to protect the hose, and now it looks pretty steady, you know, no movement. And so the air is gonna come out right up here. This is cold air, and the filter is right there, because before it was way over there. So I like this better. Now I just have to figure out if I wanna, you know, demolish my car, maybe cut out a couple of these on the very top. I don't think I need, you know, too many of those open, because check this out. Check the diameter of the pipe. What is it? Like 2 inches in diameter, maybe? So if I add even just one, if I open just one, that's already going to increase air significantly. Cold air going, basically it's right there. So the air will be coming this way, you know. Well, just an idea. We'll see. I'm still thinking. Thanks for watching.